Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
So you're yearning to go on a cruise, not just any cruise, but the 70s rock and romance cruise. Well, I'm yearning to do that also, and I know that you're going to fall in love with the 70s soft rock all over again. The one person, though, who manages these things and comes up with these ideas, I don't know if he sleeps at night, but he's always got something else on his brain, and when he came up with this one, we knew it was a winner. So Alan Rubens, who's the executive producer of the Rock and Romance Cruise, among many other things. You have a lot of other titles, Alan, but you certainly, I guess you had to categorize everything, right? Right now, this is your big thing.
This is the newest cruise and our newest idea, and hopefully a new fan base and a new bunch of cruisers. I'm sure we'll have some bleed over from some other cruises, but trying to please a whole bunch of new people who have different genres of music. That's their favorite. That's what they grew up with, that they want to relive again.
Right, and I know I had heard of Peter Frampton, but I actually got on the website to see him. I saw him when he was very young, and then what he looks like today. I mean, he's had quite a career, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. In 1976, he had an album, Frampton Comes Alive, or 77, Frampton Comes Alive, which just changed rock music and was the biggest seller, I think, until Michael Jackson's Thriller. And it was a live album. It was a humongous seller and changed rock music and brought more feeling and intimate discussions and intimate subject matter with rock artists. And again, was a revelation and a giant album.
And you're lucky enough to get him, but apparently he's not going to be on the cruise the whole time.
No, he has a very busy touring schedule. He's going to meet us Wednesday in Cozumel and come on the boat and do his shows.
Huh, that'll be really exciting. He looks different today in a way. His hair's white, not black like it was before, but sounds like he still has a lot of power.
He's a tremendous performer, and he's in two different directions. Today he does a lot of acoustic kind of stuff. What we're requesting from him when he has agreed to do is what we call his greatest hits show, which is all of his great stuff from the 70s and early 80s. Just everything that we all grew up with and all knew so well is the type of show that he's going to be doing.
Right, and that's what happens when people come to your events and come to your cruises. They are looking back at all the people who they remember, and that's what is so important, because a lot of people don't get a chance to even do that, other than a couple of spots here and there on television nowadays. To be so entrenched with these people I know have gone on many of your cruises, and even if I didn't know the particular group, once they get going, we just sit in awe.
It's hit after hit. We try to fill the lineup and the show schedules with artists who are just going to sing songs that's going to say, oh, I remember that one. I remember what I did then. I remember who I was going out with then. I remember it was my first love, that song. We try to take you back and bring you on the cruise and make you be 17 again, 15 again, 18 again, and have those same feelings and those same reminders. And music is a great way to get there. And these artists grew up with you, grew up with those times, shared those experiences, and put them on a boat for a week, and it becomes a monumental event.
And you talked about this with us before. Many times did you say to someone, well, I'd like you to come on our cruise, and they look at you, well, I'm going to be on that cruise for 4 days. What am I going to do? And then after the cruise, they want to know when you're going to book them again.
So I got more callbacks. People get mad at me. Say, I can't come back next year? No, I need you to wait a couple of years. I got to give a new lineup next year. Got to make it fresh every year. But because they find it, I think, their first conception, oh, I'm going to be on a boat, but I don't know if it's going to be fun. And then they realize that there's 2,000 like-minded people enjoying that era, that time, that feeling of that music. And it's just a camaraderie that goes from wall to wall, cabin to cabin, and from deck to deck that the artist and the consumer just enjoys together.
Because when you think of it, actually, Alan, a lot of these people probably, in some people's eyes, are has-beens because they don't hear from them very much anymore. But what you do is you bring them back to where they're supposed to be, and they must love it because now they're in their heyday again.
Yeah, and well, let's just say in the tail end of their careers in some cases. I don't want to say has-beens, but at the they're not as current as they were at the time that we're bringing back this Rock and Romance Cruise is bringing back the 70s. And Frampton was in his heyday, still has a career, but he was in his heyday. America, who still tours and does a lot of shows, will be on the boat. In that day, it was week after week, they had another hit and another hit and another hit. So we bring them back to what we think is their heyday. We don't like to call them has-beens.
No, and I don't either, but people say that to me when I try to push people to go on these cruises. Oh, well, that's a has-been. I say, no, you don't understand. This is like magic. They're coming back with all the fanfare, and you get wrapped up in it. That's the most important thing. I have told you this before. When I go on your ship, I spend more time looking around and watching what people are doing, and people who are probably even in their 80s, some in their 90s, they're like kids again, and yet you attract the baby boomers. You attract really a very broad span of ages.
Yes, because, like, again, the Rock and Romance Cruises, we're going to relive the 70s again, and soft rock was a major part of the 70s. So people, if you were a teenager in that time, or even in your young 20s, that was the music you were listening to every day on the radio. That was the music that was on your car radio, wherever you went, any places, to a jukebox, to a dance, to concerts. This was the music that was going on and around you. So to be surrounded by it again, and surrounded by the artists who made you feel that way when you were 15, 16, and 17, when you heard their music, again, brings back that feeling, brings back that connection, and creates an electricity that's, I'm there again, I'm feeling that again. And it goes both ways between the artist and the consumer, because when our artists walk on the stage and we announce who they are, the customers get the feeling of, you were part of my life. you were part of my growing up. And again, it's a hard feeling to duplicate anywhere else.
Right. Part of the leisure suits, the feathered hair, the LPs. Kids don't even know what an LP is anymore.
Right.
And you're so right. Now, let me tell everybody what this is. It's really the voyage of a lifetime. The modern luxury of the Celebrity Summit, which is actually rated highest among top cruise lines by Condé Nast Traveler, will keep you happy as you sail the Caribbean for 5 beautiful nights. When you're on this ship, you just have music. You relax. You have fantastic food. You get to get off at a few places. It's really very, very thrilling. And so what I want to tell you is March 11th to March the 16th, they start in Fort Lauderdale, they go to Cozumel, Mexico, and then to Key West. And don't laugh when you hear Key West. You say, well, why did they go there? Well, we had so much fun when we were on the ship last time in Key West. I had forgotten just how much Key West has grown.
Oh, Key West is a great port. It's really fun to stop there, go there, enjoy a day on land. And again, what we try to give you is everything that a cruise is, and then this music also.
Right, and then there's music also. Like, well, you sleep it, you dream it, you eat it. And I like the fact that a lot of your entertainers, such as now we're going to have the group America, Little River Band, the orchestra, which is starring the former members of ELO, Christopher Cross, Ambrosia, Orleans, Stephen Bishop, Fireball, Player, Chuck Negron, formerly of Three Dog Night. Barry Williams is the cruise host. These people don't just perform and then hide in their cabin. They entertain you in the lounges. They sit next to you. They dine with you. It's very, very much of a celebrity time for people.
Yes, absolutely. It's just you're sharing the experience, sharing the vacation, and it becomes that vacation of a lifetime, because where can you go to feel young again and look and be with the artists who, again, were so much a part of your life and so much a part of your growing up, and the songs that meant so much to you. I mean, and Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be there. Yeah, there's going to be theme nights. We're going to have people. Everybody's going to be dressed up as their favorite Hollywood or TV star. We're going to have a disco night, so we're going to bring out the platform shoes, the wide lapels, the spandex dresses, the skirts, and whatever else, so we can relive the times, but enjoy this music. It'll be over 20-some concerts, over 35 interactive events with these artists, and theme nights and pool concerts, and everything you could want with hearing the greatest rock love songs ever made.
And, of course, this is called Star Vista Live. They're the producers of the successful Malt Shop Memories Cruise, the Flower Power Cruise, and many more unique entertainment experiences. And so this is their latest one. Are you going on this one?
Yes, I wouldn't miss this one. I wouldn't miss this one.
No.
I'm excited about this one.
I know. I don't know. Do you? You keep coming up with all this. Tell us, and I think you may have done this a few years ago when we had you on our show. But when you were a little kid, is this what you did? You just listened to music, or you? I think you were actually. Weren't you a musician?
No, never a musician.
Wasn't a musician.
And never had any intention of being in the music business. I just loved music. I was basically, in my teens, a hot rodder who had, tried to have the coolest radios. I think it was Reverb then, what we had in our cars. And I just I just loved music and listened all the time. And now, when I finally got into a career in the music business, to play with the stuff that I love so much, music and artists and songs, I pinch myself every day.
Oh, that's so sweet. And so you're not a spring chicken anymore, but you're still right there acting like one.
Yes. Yes.
I know, aren't we all? But that's when you're happy and you love what you're doing and you're passionate, and that's exactly what you're doing. So tell me, when people, I know, and of course I can tell everyone, the shirts that I got when I was on the cruise, they were just lovely. And when I wear them now and I walk around, people always question me, well, what was that about? What did you do? Your shirts are very, very well done. The T-shirts.
We spend a lot of time when we do a cruise. One of the things that I try to bring to the table when I bring the idea is how we can surround the event with everything that goes along with it to make it special. The T-shirt, the pillow gifts we do, the panels, the interactive events. So when you go on that boat, you lose yourself. That Flower Power T-shirt is one of my favorites.
Right.
So we want you to lose yourself and immerse yourself in the experience and come home with things that make you feel like, that week was just so special. I put on that T-shirt and feel like you're on that boat again, listening to the music again. So, yeah, we try to make sure all the little details get taken care of. So, again, we give you your money's worth and more so.
And actually, Alan Rubens, as well as being a person that puts these on, of course, he's going to be very prejudiced how great they are. But you will notice when I've been on there, I noticed that people have signed up before the end of the cruise for the next one. They just want to keep doing this. So once a year, they go on one of these cruises. And that says a lot to me.
We average probably almost 50% of the people on the boat on our cruises sign up for next year because what they're really saying is, oh, my God, this is better than I thought. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And we announced the lineup for the next year when you get on the boat for this year, and we hope to stun you with a lineup that's just as good or even better than the boat that you're on. And again, almost 50% of the people sign up and say, I'm back next year. Our Malt Shop cruise, which is going into its 7th year, is probably almost 70% of the people on the boat sign up for the following year. Flower Power last year, our first year, 50% of the people signed up for the following year. And we hope this happens again. And again, it's because I think of the experience that they have. And you just can't imagine until you get on the boat. And then you can't imagine anything else like this but this kind of event. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And so I hate even to ask you, what are you going to do after this? I mean, you're so creative. And the other thing is, and just getting off the cruise for one moment, when I see all these shows advertised on television, not the cruises, are you putting those together also?
The infomercials?
Yes.
Yes, I do quite a lot of infomercials. I've been producing them for many years, which kind of gave me the idea of the cruises because it was the grouping of the music together. But yes, I just finished a new infomercial that's been on the air for a few weeks and working well, and I'm working on one right now.
Oh,
another new one.
It never stops, does it, for you? You're just a man of the hour, and you just figure out what to do. Well, a lot of times when you see them, of course, and you see the people, whether it's Jack Benny or any of the real old stars, they're just so delicious. And of course, I know people are buying them. I bought a lot, and I gave some away as gifts because sitting there, there are no commercials. You see Ed Sullivan, and you see people who now imitate these stars. They do. They still imitate them in their
Right.
You go to the shows, other kind of shows. They're always bringing up these kind of people, whether it's Jackie Gleason or of course Frank Sinatra's so popular. But so what you've done is you said, here, we don't want to lose this. You need to see this. You need to see the way it was.
Absolutely. Listen, classic TV is one of our special areas. And when you talk about the Carol Burnett show, the Dean Martin show,
Right.
the Ed Sullivan show, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, you're talking about classics, shows that need to continue to live, classics that continue to need to be seen, and they hold up in today's environment. When you watch the Carol Burnett show or a Bob Hope special, it's still good. So, yes, we do a lot of work in trying to bring them back and make them, again, something special to everybody and introduce them to a new, younger audience.
I guess of all the shows, it's the Johnny Carson show. I didn't know how good he really was. I guess he was on for 35 years. I mean, I used to watch his shows, but I didn't really realize how good he was. And what a pro. And yet he didn't start out that way, did he? He was just a kid, and I don't know how he got on that, but he sure turned into something that was starstruck.
One of the most special shows, and we've put some Johnny Carson packages together. When you look back on that, it's like, wow. You still can't believe how good he was and how good those shows were, and the guests that were on, and the fun that they had. It was, in those days, it was 11:30 at night, get in bed, and fall asleep laughing to Johnny.
Exactly. I mean, he himself would just do anything. He'd let anybody do anything to him, did he? Didn't he?
Right.
No,
the snakes and the animals. So,
right.
So when you look back at classic TV, we love to bring that back and put it back in front of everybody because it was special. And some of those artists and some of those stars were just bigger than life and still bigger than life.
And today, when I watch some of the late night TV and those stars, they're not as good. They have some good stuff. They use some good material, but it isn't the same. I don't.
I feel the same. They're copying what used to be.
Yeah.
But the originals were the best.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that that's being particularly partial to old timers, but they didn't get as involved. I mean, they kind of sat behind their desk, and they had some interesting people come. Now, there was something that I just saw that was very political that one of them did, and it was hysterical. In fact, did you see the one with Nathan Lane?
Who?
Well, Nathan Lane was on one of the late night shows, and they did a thing about the producers with Nathan Lane using
Broadway,
Trump,
sure.
using Trump as the person. They had to find the worst person who's going to lose so that they could make money again. And it's 5 minutes of this. If you haven't seen it, you'll roll in the aisle.
Nathan Lane is a tremendously talented individual. He's been in some great shows on Broadway. So, listen, late night TV used to always be something special, and it should be honored for what it was.
Did you know that you didn't know? I was once on the Steve Allen show. I was on for a whole week.
Really?
Yes, because I was modeling, and I was in Miami Beach modeling in one of the big hotels, and he had his Tonight Show emanating there. And so he saw me walking around. He said, "Would you come on our show and do that?" I said, "Sure." So he liked it, and for the whole week, I kept coming up and showing. I'm sorry, I usually don't talk about.
I'm going to go see if in our files is the Steve Martin.
You're kidding!
I can find you.
It was at the Sea Isle Hotel, and it was probably in the 1956 or 7. So this is really interesting. Okay, I don't know. I've never told that to anybody for a long time. But that's when Dave Garroway was around, and
right.
So Steve Allen. Well, let's get back to this ship now. So the people who are going to be on there, and we just mentioned some of them. So of all the people, who is it? Peter Frampton's the biggest star, you think?
Yeah, Peter in America. Little River Band and the orchestra, starring the former members of ELO, are the bigger names. Just, again, giant amount of hit records, meant so very much. But again, Christopher Cross, Ambrosia, Orleans, Stephen Bishop, Flyer, also a whole bunch of big hit records. And I just added to the cruise an artist named Hotel California who's going to do a very big live tribute to the Eagles, and they're a phenomenal performer. And I just added a Bee Gees tribute band, so when we have our middle of the week disco party, we have the Bee Gees music to dance to.
So you're not finished, right? You're still huffing and puffing.
We're still at it.
You're still at it. So don't wait for this to sell out, folks, because it does sell out. Please do. And let me tell you how you're going to call. Get your pencils out. Remember, this is Pencil Talk Radio, and it's 844-365-7625. That's 844-365-7625. You're calling in from Fairfax, Virginia, aren't you?
No, I happen to be in the Philadelphia area today.
Well, can't keep track with you, right? This is do you actually travel and have to go talk to these people? Are you the one that contacts them, or do you have like an agent that does that?
I contact quite a few, and I have another agent that I work with, and we kind of split it up, and he does some, and I do some, and it's who knows who, and that kind of thing. And because it's a ton of people, we're booking a lot of crews, a lot of artists, so it does need a few people to work on.
I'd say that. I don't know how you can keep track with all this. And I will tell you, the last time that I was on the Celebrity, I guess it was last time, it's a wonderful ship. Your ships are always good, though, because somehow you take over the ship, and you must have very strict rules for those people who run those ships and the wait staff and all the people, because everyone is so nice.
Yeah, we rent the whole boat, so everybody on the boat is coming to our cruise, and the staff on that boat is there to service them and the theme and the idea of the cruise, and they work hard to please us because, in plain words, we spend a good little ticket to rent that boat. So they work hard to make us happy, but most importantly, they make the cruisers happy and make it a really enjoyable week.
Well, the other thing, and just to let everyone know, I'm talking to Alan Rubens, executive producer of this particular one we're talking about, Rock and Romance Cruise. But the pool parties, I just have to say that when you go out there to the pool, and there's not a chair available, of course, if you don't get there early, and everyone is sitting there, and then you have a big show on stage out under the sun or in the moon or whatever you have them, and you see all these shirts, everyone wears their shirts, so it's all the same. And then some people are in the pool singing and doing all their things while this is happening. I mean, this is like a 3-ring circus.
It's a dance floor, a pool area, sit on your beach chair, pull up a blanket, and enjoy a great performance and under the sun while sailing in the Caribbean. I mean, what could be bad on that kind of day or night?
Yeah, that's right, especially in March. Nice time to do it when it's cold up north. You want to be down in the Caribbean. And so you sold out. You said this last one, of course, I guess you sold out the Flower Power. What are you working on now, the Malt Shop Memories or the Flower
Malt
Power?
Shop Cruise is this November, which is already sold out.
Okay.
The Country Music Cruise is January, which is already sold out.
Oh, really? I wondered about that. So that's January, the country?
The Flower Power Cruise, which is February, is 80, I think the last number count was 88% sold out and selling well. It should sell out within the next 4 or 5 weeks. Our Soul Train Cruise is about 85% sold out, which is also, that's the end of February, first week of March. And then following that's a new Rock and Romance, which is selling well, but it's a new cruise, so there are cabins left on that one because it is its first year, so it's not going to sell out as quick as the repeat ones.
Okay. Well, we'll certainly push everybody to go on that one if they really want to have some love, Rock and Romance. Is it the reason that you said is because a lot of it was, of course, it's a good way to say something, Rock and Romance, but were the songs very romantic? Is that why at that time?
Yes. The soft rock brought rock artists to make music that was more sensitive, showed their sensitive side, more intimate conversations, more about love and more about romance, rather than abstract subject matter. So we felt that calling it the Rock and Romance, it's the great romantic music. It's the great romantic music you grow up to that reminds you of your first boyfriend, your first kiss, the first time somebody held your hand, first time you put your arm around a girl. It's that music, that feeling that so many of these artists made records. When America's I Need You, Peter Frampton, Show Me the Way. These were records about love and romance at that time and of that era.
I see. So that's what you had to get through. And so I know that you have a lot of colleagues, one of whom is Janine, who does a great job. She's my big contact, and now you have someone else named Heidi, and these people are so dedicated. In fact, you probably know that Janine was just at our Boomer Expo.
Yes, I
and
did.
It was a big set. We sold out like you sell out. We sold out. We didn't have a booth to go, and she had just mobs at her booth, and I hope that she was able to sign some people up there because that's your market.
Yes, it is. Florida is a giant market for us because no airfare. You just come on the boat.
Yeah,
Fly.
That's
to
true.
Get there.
So are all your ships only out of Fort Lauderdale?
At the moment, Fort Lauderdale and Tampa. But right now, most of them are out of Fort Lauderdale because it's where you get to the many ports in the Caribbean. Tampa limits your ports. We have gone out of there, but Fort Lauderdale, Miami give us more locations we can get to.
Right. Is the country one coming out of Tampa?
Country one will be coming out of Tampa, yes.
Yeah, I see. Okay, well, that should be fun, too. You'd be surprised how many people still love country music.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have sold that one out.
Yeah, Vince Gill and Charlie Pride. I mean, that would sell.
Oh, wow. That really is great. And the other thing is YouTube. Of course, you will be on YouTube with me, but do you do a lot of these cruises now? Are you on YouTube with them that people can go there and see it?
Yes, we try to, absolutely. We film a lot on the cruise and then try to post it so people who haven't gone can see what this experience is like. So you can YouTube a Flower Power cruise or a Mulch Up cruise and find some stuff, yes.
Yeah, so that's what people want to see, exactly what's happening. Tell me a little bit about Barry Williams, who's your cruise host. I don't know. I know his name, but I don't really know too much about him.
So the Brady Bunch, which was a giant TV show in the 70s.
I remember that.
And we, as we talked earlier in our conversation, we think that music and TV are two things that people remember tremendously from the past. And we do a lot of daytime panels talking about the great TV and the great TV shows. And we thought having somebody from one of those great TV shows that at the time was a teen idol that everybody screamed and hollered about, the Brady Bunch, would come on the boat. And again, he's a big music fan. He has a show in Branson now, which is a music show in Branson. And he would come on the boat and show his passion and love for the music and share his experiences and what it was like to be a kid star on TV and do some panels to talk about the shows that were popular in those era in that time.
Great idea. All right, here's the phone number to call, everybody. 844-365-7625. 844-365-7625. Or you can go on their website, which is rockandromancecruise.com. Thank you so very much. I know you're a busy guy. Appreciate taking your time, Alan.
Anita, thank you so much, and hopefully we're going to see you back on the boat.
I hope so.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.